Hello! Welcome to Converse Ninjaverse episode 107.
That like echo on it.
It did. That was actually pretty impressive.
I'm Will. G. Gordon Liddy.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mike.
And we just got back from Los Angeles where the Oscars were.
Will came in. He's like, hello!
That's what I was thinking real quick. That's what I was thinking real quick. I'm like, yeah.
Oscars.
Let's do a little Mrs. Doubtfire today. But yeah, so the Oscars were last night. Or depending on when this goes up this week.
The Oscars happened.
Yes. Before we get there, let's talk about this week's box office.
This week's box office, number one, America, you're still dirty, dirty, dirty people.
Porn.
50 Shades of Grey is still in number one.
50 Shades of Bad Porn.
50 Shades of Bad Porn is number one.
For
$22 million, $129 million total.
Real quick, Kevin Pereira from Attack of the Show fame and all that stuff, he just started a morning talk show on Twitch, and he was talking about 50 Shades of Grey this morning, and he pulled up the Pornhub apparently released stats of since 50 Shades of Grey, the search engine that they have been going on. BDSM shit has just skyrocketed.
Oh, of course it is.
But
of course it
It's
is.
from women. So y'all women are dirty. Bunch of nasties. But yeah, it's like, and a lot of them are, I think they said a lot of them are coming from the Midwest. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's where the freaks is at.
Yeah. So, if anything, it's getting more awareness.
They also
out
have
there.
all that cattle stuff out there and horse riding equipment and.
True.
So they're prepared for it.
Easy access, I
guess.
guess.
The irony of that is that the BDSM community hates 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. Yes. We with some of the little run-ins we've had with BDSM community people at conventions, and I've been around a lot of weird, freaky people, but nobody's scared me more than these people. Because they're creeps.
Not all of them.
I don't know. I met a fat old Santa Claus-looking motherfucker that likes to tie people up and do dirty things to them.
And that meme we put up on Facebook, the whole in the trailer thing, that I've seen that everywhere now, but it's freaking hilarious. And it's true.
Yes, oh, definitely.
Even Kevin Pereira brought that up today. He said, if this was, going on that meme, if this was a dude in the trailer, they'd say this guy is sexually assaulting these women, but because he's a billionaire,
yeah,
it's romantic.
It's romantic. Yeah, there's nothing romantic about that.
So stop being dirty, America.
Well, that's... I hate to say it, but that's a general thing. Being rich lets you get away with a lot.
Yeah, you get away with a lot of shit
with
for being
women.
rich.
Don't believe us? Go see OJ.
That was murder. I meant
that was
still got away with shit.
You can be an ugly ass dude and get some broads a lot easier if you got pockets and pockets and piles of cash.
Yes. All right. What was number 2? Enough 50 Shades of nothing.
Number 2 was Kingsman. The Secret Service took in $18.3 million.
I'm really hoping that was gonna be number
1 for total. It looks good. I really want to see it. I just haven't had a chance to get. I haven't had a chance to get to the movies. Still hearing good things about it. Number 3 was SpongeBob. That took in 16.5, 126.2 total.
Yes, also known as the babysitter for 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, you said we were not going to mention it again.
All right, I'm sorry.
You're on timeout. Number 4, I was going to go somewhere with that, but nope. Number.
You get paddled.
You have a ball gag for him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Number 4 was McFarland USA. It took in $11 million. It's the new.
And that's when the guy that wanted to buy the home run baseballs, and he wrote a comic book character that was awesome for like 5 years, and now anymore.
No, that's not. No.
Who's apparently got another movie coming out. Spawn's coming back.
It's the Kevin Costner high school running movie.
Right.
Disney.
It's one of the Disney feel-good sports movies.
Yep.
Yeah. That won't do anything in the theaters, but it'll probably do well on video.
Yeah, and like one of those things like, I'll probably watch this at cable, and then you're like crying at the end of it, and the team won, and the coach is right. I gotta call my dad.
Yeah, pretty much. And number 5 is The Duff that took in $10.8 million. And no, it is not a movie about the beer from The Simpsons.
No, my kids actually went to see this weekend, and
I have no idea.
Yeah, my kids saw it this weekend. They went with a bunch of their little girlfriends, and they went there. They said it was hilarious. It's just a teeny comedy movie. It's got Ronnie from freaking Flash, Robbie Amell, and the annoying chick that was on Disney from Shake It Up, Bella Thorne, and Roxy Richter from fucking Scott Pilgrim.
I'm hearing words, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is...
Bottom line is...
Oh, Allison Janney's in it.
Who's that?
You'd know her if you saw her.
Oh. Probably, yeah. But yeah, they said it was pretty funny, and that's what I expected from them. So for that to open at 5th, not bad.
I know literally nothing about this movie.
And the movie that we were, I could kind of go out on a limb and say after seeing the Red Band trailer, we were kind of looking forward to. That also came out this week, opened in 7th, and that was Hot Tub Time Machine. And that's kind of making Mordecai money. That took in $5.9 million for its opening weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that other trailer just made it look very unattractive. The Red Band trailer, that first trailer we saw, like, wow, this looks like it's gonna be a fun, great movie.
Yeah.
And then it was corny ass jokes in that other trailer that lessened my interest in the movie.
Well, here's the thing. The original Hot Tub Time Machine was a movie that should not have been good.
Right.
And
it shouldn't have been good. It shouldn't have been good. It was fantastic, and it was perfect the way it was. Just one movie, Hot Tub Time Machine, great, move on. But now we've got Hot Tub Time Machine 2, and now they have the hot tub and it's some special like Batcave thing. And it's
well, you know what I did read too?
No fucking sense.
No.
Well, what I read, and this would have made a ton of sense, but they were worried that the marketing department in the studio was worried that this was gonna hurt the income of the movie, which obviously it didn't make a difference.
No.
They wanted the writers wanted to call it Hot Tub Time Machine 3.
Yes, I did read that.
So that there was, but the studios are then like, well, everybody's going to be like, I never saw Hot Tub Time Machine 2, so I can't go see this. But it would have been a nice way to kind of joke around with the time travel premise.
Yeah.
And apparently, Back to the Future style, it apparently ends with a trailer for Hot Tub Time Machine 3. So, and they give away the ending of the movie in the trailer, from what everybody says.
That's what it seems like from that other trailer, because what's his name gets killed in the other trailer.
Well, no, that's not the whole thing. He doesn't die in the movie. What that whole thing is that's one of the many times they go back and forth in time.
Okay.
Yeah, the ending of the movie is that whole scene that's been in there since the Red Band trailer, apparently, when they go to the American Revolution.
Yeah, which I figured was going to be the ending of the movie.
That seemed like the end of the movie, yeah.
Why the hell would you give that away?
Trailers have been awful lately. I'll say the past 5 to 10 years, every trailer that comes out gives away the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this. The Avengers trailer gave away... The big scene in the Avengers trailer was Hulk saving Iron Man from falling, which is the literally final fucking scene of the movie.
True.
Yeah.
Just the way it's cut together, it didn't seem like that was the case, but yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem that way, but then when you're watching if you're sitting there watching the Avengers and unless you have Alzheimer's and forgot about the trailer, you're like, or you're watching Iron Man fall, and you're like, well, this must be where Hulk catches him, because I saw that every day, 6 times a day for the past 9 months.
Yeah.
Played the hell out of those commercials. I'll even say, the Oscars last night, when they showed the clip from Gone Girl, gave away the end of Gone Girl.
I haven't even seen Gone Girl yet. I haven't.
Me neither, but I know what happens now, because they showed it on the goddamn Oscars last night.
Really?
Yep. I couldn't believe it. I was watching, I'm listening, and I was stupefied. I'm like, they just gave away the end of the movie on TV.
That's bullshit.
And that was one of the few movies I didn't get to. I power watched this past week Oscar-nominated movies. I watched probably 10 movies in 5 days at a minimum.
Does Guardians of the Galaxy count? Because I watched that like twice this week.
Oh, well, that was one of the... I never got back to Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can't believe. How do you not give that movie the best makeup?
You know, what won best makeup? You know what?
I want to say it was like the Theory of Everything.
The Grand Budapest Hotel won.
The fuck?
The Grand Budapest Hotel, I mean, that movie won a lot of awards. I really enjoyed the Grand Budapest Hotel, but I wouldn't necessarily say the makeup for it was overly stunning. It was understated at best. The Foxcatcher and Guardians of the Galaxy, I think Guardians of the Galaxy definitely got robbed there.
Yeah. And there was another, visual effects. It's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, and X-Men: Days of Future Past. And Interstellar won.
Oh, you knew Interstellar was gonna win.
Yeah.
Gonna win. Nobody saw the fucking movie.
You know, I gotta say that was one of the ones that I watched.
Yeah, I didn't get around to that one yet. I just haven't got around to that one.
You know, I had heard mixed things about it. I really enjoyed it. I think it had a weird marketing, and it was a tough movie to market. It's definitely a sci-fi thing. It's very reminiscent of 2001.
Okay.
Not that it's ripping off 2001. Not that I'm saying it's ripping off 2001. It just has similar themes in a way. The movie itself, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was gonna. I thought I was gonna deal with a lot of kind of sci-fi nonsense, or double talk, or preaching about this or that. And for a 2.5-hour movie, it flowed very well. I will say that Matthew McConaughey's giant talking iPad was awesome.
I want a talking iPad.
The robots in it, I really got hooked on I became a big fan of the robots in this movie. They weren't silly, but they were fun, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay.
And an interesting take on it. And I think Interstellar should have been one of the Best Picture nominations.
It wasn't?
It was not. No, we had 8. We had American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, which I've had the hardest time not saying the Intimidation Game.
Yeah, that's why every time I see it, that's what I think of.
Yeah, I keep fucking that up, and that was the first time I've gotten it right in 3 days, I think. Selma was nominated, Theory of Everything was nominated, and Whiplash.
Go ahead.
With seeing all of them, and I know they're allowed to nominate 10 movies, I think Interstellar got robbed out of a nomination. Not that I think it should have won, but I think it should have been at least nominated. I think The Wild was very solid with Reese Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see her boobies in it.
Nice.
So if you ever want to see Reese Witherspoon boobies and see her get railed out, check out The Wild. It's a good movie too. A couple Oscar nominations, that's having that. And I mean, for the fun, for as good of as enjoyable of a movie as it was, they should have given a nomination to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been, obviously it's not going to win, but here we're going to throw it a bone.
I mean, it was the #1 movie of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, money doesn't make a movie, and the Oscars traditionally hate.
And you got to remember, I was going to say the Oscars traditionally hate the comic book movies and the sci-fi
movies. Well, they hate a sci-fi movie, a fantasy movie, anything that's not based in reality, especially in the last 20, 30 years. It's the Mary Poppins was probably the last Best Picture to win.
Well, no, I was saying
Lord of the Rings
was nominated.
The third Lord of the Rings won Best Picture, and that was the first fantasy movie to ever win a Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars was nominated but didn't win.
Yeah.
None of the other Lord of the Rings, I don't even know if they nominated any of the other ones.
Yeah, out of all the Best Picture nominees, the only one I saw was Birdman, and I actually saw that like a week ago.
Birdman was my favorite. I had seen it in the theater, and I was on this show I was talking about it. I was on the Birdman bandwagon very early.
Mm-hmm.
But with watching everything else, I really enjoyed Boyhood. to be an experimental picture like that, and over the course of 11 years, it's I can't really tell you what the story was about as much. It was just you watched this kid grow up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's an interesting, engrossing movie.
I do want to see that.
I didn't really hate. I actually kind of enjoyed all of them. You know, at different things for different levels.
Didn't Grand Budapest Hotel come out like 2 years ago?
You're thinking of the Darjeeling Limited.
No. My parents said they saw the Grand Budapest. I could have sworn it was like.
No, that was Best Exotic Marigold.
That was best exotic.
Okay.
Which I was doing that same thing. There was another Wes Anderson movie 2 years ago, the Darjeeling Limited, at the same time that Best Exotic Marigold Hotel came out.
Okay.
Which was more of it was a comedy, but it was kind of like it was about older British people going into retirement.
Like a smart comedy thing.
Yeah. There's a sequel of that coming out soon.
I thought that was this.
Yeah. No, Grand Budapest Hotel, it's set, it actually, you know, not to give away a lot, but the way it kind of opens up, it's a flashback inside of a flashback inside of a flashback.
The Inception date.
Kind of, but not. I mean, it opens with a girl showing up at a statue commemorating somebody. Then it goes back to, I want to say, the 70s, where I'm sorry, it goes back to some point in the 80s, I believe, where an older writer is sitting talking about how he wrote this book, and then it flashbacks again to him meeting the person who relayed the story to him so he could write the book, and in that it then flashbacks to that guy's story.
Already, this movie's lost me.
I'm ready. I'm already in the hole.
I am way not its demographic.
It's very Wes Anderson, quirky, weird, but it's fun. It's got a ton of big stars in it in small parts.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Brody is, I guess I'll call him the villain of it. He's hysterical. He is just this perfect kind of foul-mouthed asshole, and what's his name is his henchman, the Green Goblin.
James Franco? Or Willem Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
I wanted to say Dennis Leary, but I knew that was wrong.
Yeah. You're mixing your Spider-Man.
I'm mixing my Spider-Mans, yep.
Kind of an easy mistake to make, though.
Yeah.
It is. They're close. But it was a fun movie. It's a weird movie, but it's definitely fun. What I did, I kind of came up with to kind of gear it towards our usual talk about comic book movies and such. I kind of broke it down in this way. American Sniper was about Rocket Raccoon fighting in the Iraq War in a division called the Punishers, where they had Punisher skulls on their uniforms and stuff.
Okay.
So that was Marvel heavy.
That was a crossover.
Yes. Birdman is about Batman and the Incredible Hulk trying to make a play to revive Batman's career. And Gwen Stacy's in it. Grand Budapest Hotel had a lot of people in it. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Boyhood, you watched a kid grow up. And it was kind of cool that the kid, by the end, looked an awful lot like Ethan Hawke. You know, looked like he could have been Ethan Hawke's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't when he was young. It was.
Okay, wait. I thought Boyhood is an actual, like, not a documentary. It's an actual, like, film.
It's not a documentary. It's a
All
film.
right. See, I thought it was a documentary about this kid's life.
No.
I didn't realize it was an actual. That's interesting then.
It is a film that they filmed 8 weeks a year or so.
Okay.
For 11 years.
I thought it was a documentary about this kid that they filmed 8 weeks.
No, you got a couple days of this kid's life for the course of 11 years.
Oh, that's cool then.
And it's it was definitely interesting. You see people, and you're just kind of watching it. It never at one point says, this is 2002, now it's 2003. You just kind of watch it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, all right, some things have changed. And, you know, it jumps a little bit, but not so you're, like, lost.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like you're just checking in on it. It's almost like a long-running TV series that you kind of turn on. That's the way I've been explaining it to people. It's like an interesting long-running TV series that you kind of turn on and like, oh, where are you at now? Like, oh, all right, you know.
See, now I want to watch it. When I thought it was a documentary, I didn't want to watch it.
No, it's definitely worth checking out. I thought it was a documentary when I first heard about it, but then I heard I heard an interview with Ethan Hawke, and he talked about how they shot it, because they kind of had the schedule with everybody, because people were doing other things. They're making other films and making other TV shows. You know, Patricia Arquette had a TV show, I think, for the whole run of the movie.
Yeah, she was a medium.
Yeah, she was doing medium. But the whole time she was doing medium, she took a couple weeks off and shot this thing.
Okay.
And then they got the kid, and they got several kids to come back, you know, for the parts. There was the boyhood main character, and then his sister, who was the director's daughter, so it was pretty easy to get her back.
Mm-hmm. Pretty easy to get her, yeah.
But it was interesting. It was kind of like checking in. You know, it was almost like having a relative you don't see all the time. They only see once a year, and what's going on with him and his family.
Cool.
And then it was good. Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette did a great job with it. And the kid didn't do bad either, you know, to grow up, and actually, you know, for the kid to keep an interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm interested in even how they wrote it, because the way it kind of pans out, and the look of the kid and the vibe of the kid, did the writers say, all right, for the next 11 years of your life, you kind of have to grow up this way, or did they kind of adjust it as they were talking with the kid? It makes me want to learn more about the movie, which to me is one of those signs that it's an interesting piece. You know, it's something that'll linger, and it's something that I'll think about. And it's a difficult thing to do, to make a good movie you're gonna invest that much time in it. You know, it was shot, I'd say, relatively cheap, because, you know, if you're only shooting it a couple days a year, but it's over the course of time, it's a big investment, I guess, in the long run.
Yeah.
But I think it paid off.
Too. All right, so what was
my little comic book thing, the Imitation Game.
Intimidation.
Was Doctor Strange was a mathematician, and Sinestro worked for British Secret Service, and came to him and asked him to help beat the Nazis.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And Keira Knightley was involved.
Okay.
And I would say it's probably the best work I've seen out of Keira Knightley.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I enjoyed her a lot more you know, I didn't hate her in the Pirates movies, but in the more serious stuff, Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, and this, you know, she's a quality, serious actress. You know, she's developed a nice career and style, and she's enjoyable in a lot of things. Theory of Everything was kind of like the cast of Doctor Who and Harry Potter helped Stephen Hawking solve the universe, because there's an awful lot of fucking British people in that. And, you know, there's definite, you know, you're like, oh, that's the guy from Doctor Who. Oh, that's the guy from Harry Potter. Oh, and because he's at Cambridge and stuff, it has a very Harry Potter vibe to it.
Yeah, I apparently own that movie. I had no idea what it was about, because in that movie group I'm in, somebody added it, and from the cover, it looks like a Sense and Sensibility type movie, so I'm like, I don't know what the hell this movie is.
Oh yeah, Theory of Everything, it was pretty solid. And he does, there's 2 Doctor Who jokes in it.
Nice.
And Hawking gets his doctorate. One of his buddies, who is actually a villain in a Doctor Who 2-parter, when he says Doctor, he goes, Doctor Who? And there's another part when Hawking gets the voice thing that he's rolling around. He's playing with his kids. He has a box on his head, and he's rolling around in the wheelchair going, exterminate, exterminate.
Nice.
You know, and that's, you see, you know, I've always heard, and you could tell, you know, from being on The Simpsons and being in Futurama and Star Trek, and the appearances in science fiction things and comedy things that Hawking's made.
Yeah, he's been in Big Bang Theory a few times, too.
Yeah, and he's been on Big Bang Theory almost a half a dozen times. I think 4 episodes he did.
Something like that.
6. And he did 4 episodes of The Simpsons. And he was on Star Trek in 93 or 94.
Oh, wow.
he played a holodeck version of himself.
Hmm.
Where he actually came to, like, he met Leonard Nimoy at something. He's like, oh, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I'd love to be on. And they got him on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Nice.
But it was, you know, he's a guy with a good sense of humor for the situation that he's in. And you see that in the movie. That the guy is, you know, he did the best he could with what he had. And it's I don't want to say, it's a sad movie, but for a different reason. That you kind of see, here's this guy who's brilliant, but then trapped in this broken body.
Yeah.
And then the life he lives despite all that. It's, you know, you almost got to say, it's almost like a movie that you want to, you know, when people are like, oh, my life sucks. Look what this guy figured out how to do. When all he can move is like two pinkies.
And, you know, it could have gone the other way. He could have like built like a giant robot body and become a supervillain.
Yeah, he really could have.
That'd been cool.
Yeah, apparently the only thing that worked on him was like 2 fingers, and he banged a lot of broads. So he did okay. Not a lot.
He's all right.
He did okay for a guy, you know, all twisted up in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Whiplash was about J. Jonah Jameson teaching Mr. Fantastic how to play drums.
Oh, is that the new Mr. Fantastic?
That's the new Mr. Fantastic. And actually, J.K. Simmons, he won the Academy Award for it, and he was fantastic. He was so hateable in the movie.
I gotta see this movie. I keep hearing nothing but good things about it.
It was really good. It's very intense. Chris, I think your wife, being a musician, would be real into it.
Okay.
Because it's it's a musician's movie, and it's almost like a horror story for musicians.
Okay.
Because they're stuck with this insane conductor. You know, because of the way Andrew reacted to it, it was shocking. You know, like, holy shit, I can't believe this guy's doing that. And he was so... Hey, J.K. Simmons can play such a good villain and such a good... You know, he's a great actor because he can be funny and endearing and cool and all the things that he does, but then he can also be this, like, hateful piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're like, this guy's a really good actor. And it's like, he's still doing insurance commercials. He started off as the yellow M&M.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was the original yellow M&M.
I did not realize that.
I talk about this all the time.
I wasn't listening.
Okay. And then Selma, which, you know, there was a lot of controversy about Selma and the lack of nominations for it. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
I not to take away anything about what happened, you know, what the story tells, but I almost feel like what they tried to make as powerful scenery, you know, a powerful scene, was more in there for shock value. It became shock value. Because there were these, you know, racial atrocities that happened, and they were putting them on screen. It was, you know, how Saw, and movies like Saw, they refer to as torture porn.
Mm-hmm.
This was like atrocity porn.
Wow.
Where you're watching these middle-aged black women being beaten in the street just because they want to vote or because they're marching for equal rights. But the supervillain in it is Abomination.
Okay.
He's the governor of
Bam.
Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's he was one of the bad guys in Forrest Gump too. It was Wallace. George Wallace.
Yeah. Okay.
Tim Roth plays him, and Tim Roth does a really good job of playing him as the piece of shit that he was.
Nice.
Yeah, and Selma, it was... I almost feel like it's that story that's been told enough times, and I know it, and it's... You know, it's... I guess maybe for another generation that has... You know, for another young generation, let's give them another Martin Luther King movie so kids in school can kind of see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as we're getting farther away, removed from that. But, nobody in it, none of the actors really are like, wow, that guy was great in it. He needed a nomination. You know, the guy who played Martin Luther King acted fine, but if I turned the movie on and didn't know what it was, and he wasn't giving one of the Dr. King speeches,
You wouldn't know.
I might not have known, you know, I wouldn't have associated him as being Martin Luther King.
Gotcha. Well, in case we didn't mention it, Birdman did win Best Picture, so go see it. It's so good. And it won Best Cinematography, too.
And director.
And Screenplay.
Yeah.
So that was
they really cleaned up, and I feel Michael Keaton did a great job, and he was my favorite to win Best Actor.
Yeah.
But then the dude who played Stephen Hawking,
yeah, he won.
Really did. I mean, he performed with his whole body in the movie. You know, the way he twisted himself up, and the way you could see he acted with his eyes, he acted with his body. You know, he conveyed. So there was a lot of emotion that came out of the way he held himself. That was a powerful movie, and it was a great performance.
Yeah.
What's Bradley Cooper in American Sniper was also really good.
I keep hearing, because my brother-in-law's birthday was this week, and him and his wife went to go see it, and somebody asked him, when the movie was over, did everybody just leave the theater in dead silence? And that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people, that people are just leaving that movie quiet.
Like, you almost have to.
Yeah.
Because it's a story about this guy who, at least the way it's portrayed in the movie, where I heard the book is different, but in the movie he's portrayed as this hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he did a lot for a lot of people. You know, he saved a lot of lives, but, you know, by killing people, he saved a lot of lives. By killing people in the opposition, he saved a lot of his fellow American military or, you know, allied military people's lives. And then he dies tragically trying to help somebody with post-traumatic stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, if anything, one of the good things about, you know, about this movie being popular, you know, there's been a lot of criticism of, it's war propaganda, and it's setting this guy up as being a hero, and it's rah, 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 and we hate Muslims, because they show some brutal things that happened over there.
Oh, really?
There was a highly disturbing scene in it. And I could kind of see it like, all right, but if it happened, it happened. You know, it's not like Hollywood made it up. I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe Hollywood did make it up. But, you know, war is hell, as you know, you always hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie definitely brings to light the problem that, because one of the things that he deals with is separating himself from being the warrior and coming back home. That he keeps going on these tours because he can't live a normal life in America.
Gotcha.
Which a lot of these guys have had problems with. You know, I know personally guys who wanted to go back that if you told them tomorrow, hey man, do you want to go back, they'd go. You know, as fucked up as things were. And the message that this movie, you know, hopefully what it gets out there is that we need to help dudes that are back and their heads aren't right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that's what killed, you know, this war killed Chris Kyle. You know, he didn't get shot by an Iraqi or an ISIS guy, he got shot by an American that was disturbed and insane. Well, maybe not insane is the right thing. It was a guy with issues.
Yeah. Because
of what happened over there. And even Foxcatcher was another one about a guy, you know, with a mental disorder who winds up killing somebody.
Yeah, I didn't know what that movie was about either.
Foxcatcher is another true story.
That's Steve Carell, right?
Steve Carell played John DuPont.
Mm-hmm.
And John DuPont sponsored the American wrestling team. And he was apparently batshit crazy for years and years. And but because he was like this, he was a perfect example of like a spoiled rich kid who grew up to be a spoiled rich old man. And then and he was nuts, and nobody ever told him knock that shit off because he's a billionaire.
Mm.
So he got away with what he wanted, and then he had a disagreement with Dave Schultz, a Olympic gold medalist wrestler, Hall of Fame American wrestler, and he shot him.
Oh, wow.
You know, the end of the movie. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things there, and Mark Schultz, Dave Schultz's brother, who's also a character in the movie, who was a consultant on the movie, he came out and said that he hated the movie. You know, and his character is almost kind of portrayed as retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Channing Tatum plays his character. He didn't get a nomination for anything.
No, he was sitting right behind Steve Carell at the Oscars, though.
Yeah.
They both got Lego Oscars.
They did both get Lego Oscars, which I almost want more. That's we're getting this shit that we're talking about is kind of heavy on the lighter side. That the Oscars thing, that Lego performance was hysterical.
It was great. I've watched it like 4 times. So.
It was a lot of fun, and that was Will Arnett dressed up as Batman
in Val Kilmer's bat suit.
Yes.
And just when I thought that fucking song was out of my head.
That's a fun song. I'll take that.
I'm not saying it's not, because I was watching Lego Movie like every day for a while, but now I haven't watched it in about a month, and I finally am like, okay, I'm finally over. Everything is awesome.
Now, I don't know if you guys caught in that clip, Questlove was there.
Yes, he makes a great Robin.
He makes a great Robin, but I don't know. Did you also notice at the keyboards it was Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo?
Yes.
Yes.
And they gave him a Lego Devo hat.
But yeah, that performance was good. That should have won Best Song, but it didn't. Selma, the song from Selma won Glory.
Yeah, that I liked half of. I liked the John Legend part. I didn't like the Common part. And even in the film, it's a woman singing. It's not John Legend.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, all right, this guy. And then when Common started up, I was like, all right, we kind of ruined a decent song. And that won. And one of the things that was funny about that, and I had to look it up a little bit, Glory from the film Selma won. Music and lyrics by John Stevens and Lonnie Lynn.
That name sounds familiar.
Well, it should. Well, they got up and they accepted their Oscar. Well, at least when they got up there, I'm like, that's not John Stevens and Lonnie Lynn. That's Common and John Legend. Common's real name is Lonnie.
I would call myself Common too.
Me too. Yeah, I was very confused. It was, and I guess John Legend's real name is John Stevens.
Then why the hell wouldn't he just call himself
John Stevens? I know. I was going to say Stevens. It's not like it's a weird name. It's not like he's blue.
No, but John Legend
himself as John Legend on the writing credits.
It must have been something with how they're in, how they're registered with the Academy,
yeah,
or with
probably
their unions, or with their, that happens sometimes with your publishing rights and the legalities of your names and things. It's it's almost like being a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
You can be CM Punk and you can be Phil Brooks. It's sometimes you got to be one or the other. With the music, and not really knowing a lot of them, I only saw 2 of the movies that had the songs nominated, but I just thought the Glenn Campbell song was going to win just because it was, all right, here's Glenn Campbell's last shot at something.
Mm-hmm.
And with him being an actor as well as a singer, he's in one of my favorite John Wayne movies. He's in not Rooster Cogburn, the first one, True Grit. The original True Grit is John Wayne and Glenn Campbell. So I really thought Glenn Campbell had that locked down, but I almost feel that the Academy got embarrassed into giving it to Selma because of the hype about not enough black actors and actresses got nominated for things.
Yeah, maybe.
And I also almost feel that, the way the Academy gets sometimes is we want to give Martin Luther King an Oscar. And, he never was in anything, and Martin Luther King deserves a lot. An Oscar might not be the right thing.
True.
But it's a weird thing, It's not like you don't want to insult Martin Luther King, but so you feel like, if the movie doesn't get some kind of an award, we're insulting him and his legacy. But that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Because somebody came out and said, the movie got nominated and it's just okay. One of the Academy guys. And you shouldn't feel obliged to vote for something just because, we have to nominate so many movies and then so many movies with black people in them.
Mm-hmm.
They just were nominating good movies. You can't really say that the Oscars were racist if you gave that Mexican guy that made Birdman 6 Oscars.
True. I'd wear them all around my neck like Flavor Flav.
He might. He's gonna hang them from the rearview mirror of his El Camino or whatever.
Nice. And then I feel terrible because I own this movie and I still have not watched it yet. Big Hero 6 won Best Animated Feature.
I was going to say Big Hero 6 won Best Animated, and then the short that was before Big Hero 6, Feast, won
Isn't
for
that the one
Best
with the
Animated
puppy?
Short.
That's
the one with the puppy.
And that was fantastic.
I haven't seen it.
I love that. I thought it was really good.
It was on YouTube for free up until like this morning or something.
Oh, really?
Because I watched it over the weekend, and I went to go look at it again. I went to go show my mother and my brother, and it was gone.
Yeah, it was cute.
Well, I got the version with the bonus feature, so it's on the bonus feature.
If you have Big Hero 6, it'll be on there.
Yeah.
And I wound up seeing all the animated shorts this year because I went on the Amazon Video app.
Yeah.
You know, and they had a collection of the animated shorts, everything but Feast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Feast I saw for free, so for $6 I downloaded this video that had all the animated shorts plus a couple other good ones that didn't get nominated.
I think the only reason Feast isn't on there is because Disney and Amazon don't really get along.
That's kind of my feeling for it. I had a feeling, Disney's trying to
they're in bed with Netflix. So.
Well, you can get Feast on Amazon, but it's separate
from the Prime.
From this package of all of them.
Yeah. Gotcha. Because
I wound up showing my brother and his kids Feast, and it cost me $2 to put it on my Amazon thing this afternoon. So it was, it's there, it's available. And, the other animated shorts, because the shorts are weird. You never, unless you see it before a Pixar movie, you never get to see those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish they'd package it somehow that you could see some of these things before a movie. It would be nice if you did get an animated short or a theatrical short, but I know there ain't no money in that. And
did Paperman win when that came out? Because that should have won.
Yes,
that was so good. Shit made me cry almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Paperman. I think Paperman was one of the best animated shorts I've seen in years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of emotion in the stuff. There was a movie that was with the animated short, The Dam Keeper, was very emotional. And that was probably the longest one. I think that one ran like 18 minutes or 15 minutes. But it was, it was done real well, and it was interesting and intense, and had a lot of emotion behind it. There was one, The Single Life. It was only 2 minutes long. Really funny. Reminded me of old animation. If Feast didn't win, that was probably what I would have wanted to win.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain, but it's essentially a woman puts a 45 record on, and she kind of starts it a little bit in, and then as she moves the record one way or another, time in her life travels backwards or forwards.
Nice.
Interesting.
So it's a cute little piece. The bigger picture, the animation on it was really interesting. It was a British piece, but the subject matter was kind of dark and sad. It was about two brothers dealing with their elderly mother and her being ill. But it was an interesting combination of 2-dimension and 3-dimensional animation.
Okay.
That was kind of quirky and fun, but dealt with this highly serious stuff. If it was done more, if it was a comical story, the animation it would have been a lot more enjoyable. But dark isn't the right word, but serious, heavy.
Yeah.
I guess that was this whole Oscars. Everything was heavy. Out of all the films, Grand Budapest Hotel was the only really lighthearted movie.
Yeah.
That got nominated for everything. Everything else was really strong.
Well, then let's lighten it up, and let's talk about the only award show that matters, because we love to make fun of shit on this show. The Razzie Awards.
Yes, I am in the mood after filling my life for the past couple days with these high emotional art pieces. Right. I need some bullshit horseshit movies. You know what I had to watch today? Partly because it's coming off Netflix, and partly because it was on my list and I wanted to see it, and I needed some cheese to go with. I watched Starship Troopers 3.
Oh, God.
Why?
Well, it was the return of Johnny Rico.
Johnny Rico didn't need to come back.
Oh, wow. I needed something that bad to kind of balance my life out a little bit. It was fun. It's silly. It's stupid. It's coming off in a couple of days. I watched Starship Troopers 3. All right, I got my Razzies list up.
Yeah, I got it here too. Let's start from the bottom with the worst remake, ripoff, or sequel.
Hang on, sequel or ripoff? Okay.
All right, so the nominees are Transformers: Age of Extinction, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Chris's good friend Michael Bay. Legend of Hercules, was that the Rock one?
No, that was
the other one, that British one.
I think that was the other one.
Atlas Shrugged #3. Who is John Gate? Don't know what that is.
Atlas Shrugged is the And Rand series.
Oh, okay.
It's that really conservative, don't help people because it creates dependency.
Oh, okay. So something terrible.
But then she collected Social Security in a retirement type of, she was a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Annie.
Well, all the Republicans love that shit. I watched a documentary about her thinking that, maybe it'll shed some light on what she's about, and it made me hate her more.
Nice. And Annie, which was the winner for worst remake.
My wife went and saw Annie last weekend.
Okay.
She said it wasn't as bad as she expected.
That's what I was kind of hearing.
She saw it in the $2 place across the street. She and her mother went and saw it. She enjoyed it for what it was, but
for $2?
For $2.
All right.
They took a shot at Annie last night in the Oscars.
Did they really?
Because they said, there are a couple film franchises that we're going to say goodbye to. We had the last Hobbit movie. We had the last, there was something else in a series, and I'm not going to remember what it was. Oh, The Last Night of the Museum.
Okay.
And we had the last time that somebody's going to try and remake Annie.
Nice. And now, worst screenplay. We have Transformers: Age of Extinction, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sex Tape, Left Behind, and Saving Christmas, Kirk Cameron's magnum opus.
I'm going with Saving Christmas.
Yes. Kirk Cameron is a very big winner. If you see
Left Behind was a remake of a Kirk Cameron movie.
I know, so he's really there twice. Yeah. But if you hear Kirk Cameron's name in this list, chances are you know who the winner is. Just saying that. All right, worst screen combo.
We still need to get our hands on a copy of this.
Yeah, we do. That might be our Christmas movie next year. Worst screen combo. Seth MacFarlane and Charlize Theron for A Million Ways to Die in the West. Kellen Lutz and either his abs, his pecs, or his glutes for The Legend of Hercules. Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel for Sex Tape. Any two robots, actors, or robotic actors in Transformers: Age of Extinction. Or Kirk Cameron and his ego for Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
I'm going with Kirk Cameron and his ego.
You are a winner. All right, worst director. Seth MacFarlane for A Million Ways to Die in the West. Jonathan Liebsman for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Rennie Harlin for Legend of Hercules. Darren Doan for Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. Or Michael Bay for Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
But once again, I'm going with Saving Christmas.
No. In this case, you are wrong. Michael Bay, your best friend.
Oh. I gave that asshole more credit than he did.
All right. Now we move up to the worst supporting actor category. Kiefer Sutherland for Pompeii, which I forgot that movie even came out.
Kiefer Sutherland was in Pompeii?
Apparently. Arnold Schwarzenegger for Expendables 3. Shaquille O'Neal for Blended. Kelsey Grammer for Expendables 3, Legends of Oz, Think Like a Man 2, and Transformers: Age of Extinction. Or Mel Gibson in Expendables 3.
See, I loved Mel Gibson in Expendables 3.
Come on, Chris, who do you think?
I don't know.
And I didn't hate this other guy, too, the guy that wanted to win it.
Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah. All right. This one should be a layup. Worst supporting actress. Susan Sarandon and Tammy. Cameron Diaz and Annie. Bridget Rednor, who's Kirk Cameron's sister for Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. Nicola Peltz for Transformers: Age of Extinction. Or Megan Fox for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Megan Fox?
Yes.
And her toe thumb?
Yes, and her toe thumb. All right, now this one.
I was trying to explain the toe thumb to my sister one day, and she's like, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about?" So I had to go find a picture of Megan Fox's thumb.
It literally comes up on Google. You can type Megan Fox, and then you just Megan Fox, and then the letter T, and it comes up.
T, and it's Megan Fox's thumb. Yeah.
Nice. All right, now this one's a little different. The Razzie Redeemer Award. This is for somebody who won a previous Razzie, but actually now has made a good movie. So they're redeeming themselves.
Okay.
All right. So Kristen Stewart from Razzie winner for Twilight, and Camp X-Ray. Keanu Reeves from 6-time Razzie nominee to critically acclaimed John Wick. Mike Myers from Razzie winner for Love Guru to docu director of Supermensch. Or documentary director.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, doku. What the fuck is a doku? Jennifer Aniston from 4-time Razzie nominee to SAG Award nominee for Cake. And Ben Affleck from Razzie winner for Geely to Oscar darling for Argo and Gone Girl.
I want to say Keanu Reeves, but I'm going with Ben Affleck.
You are correct. Although, again, John Wick, fucking fantastic.
I've heard nothing. You talked about John Wick. I've heard nothing but other people that have seen John Wick. That everybody loves it.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. All right, worst actress. Worst actress. This is a very highly contested category.
Isn't Cameron Diaz in it like 6 times?
Cameron Diaz is in here once, but for 2 movies.
Okay. But for 2 movies, okay.
Gala Weiss.
I know she's nominated a lot.
Yeah. Gala Weiss for The Legend of Hercules. Charlize Theron for A Million Ways to Die in the West. Melissa McCarthy for Tammy. Cameron Diaz for The Other Woman and Sex Tape. And Drew Barrymore for Blended.
I'm going out on a limb here and saying Melissa McCarthy.
Nope. Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz. Yeah, that Tammy movie bombed hard, but
it did.
Can't keep her down. She's got a bunch of movies coming out now. All right, worst actor. This is a tough one. Adam Sandler for Blended, Seth MacFarlane for A Million Ways to Die in the West, Kellen Lutz for Legend of Hercules, Kirk Cameron for Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, or Nicolas Cage for Left Behind.
Ooh, still going with Kirk Cameron though.
Yes, you are
still
correct.
Going with Kirk Cameron.
Although we also would have accepted Nicolas Cage.
Yes, because in all my times of playing Cards Against Humanity, Nicolas Cage is the answer to everything.
Yes. And then the worst picture nominees: Transformers: Age of Extinction, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Legend of Hercules, Left Behind, or Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
This is just like a softball pitch. It's got to be Saving Christmas.
Yep. Saving Christmas won all the awards.
I need to get a copy of this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to the screening committee that gets me all the screener copies that I got for the Oscars.
He's gonna say, "Why the hell do you want this movie?" I'm like, "We need it for science."
And I mean, I love me some bad movies because I mean, like one of my favorite movies is Manos, but this is gonna be bad.
This is next level bad.
Yes.
That trailer enough was bad.
I think we're gonna have to watch it with a religious man, a man of the cloth, to kind of get this, you know.
Father Guido Sarducci?
Well, we have the mole, you know, for the mole who has sat in for a couple of our shows. Not everybody know that, but the mole is a minister.
Oh.
Or he's gonna be a minister. He's a deacon or whatever he is now. I'm not sure. I don't know all that religious stuff. All that heebie-jeebie voodoo.
He's a holy man.
But we might have to invite him to sit there and watch Saving Christmas and defend it.
Oh boy.
And poor Jesus. And what kind
Can we have him and Jensen at the same time?
Oh, we could.
It's like literally having the angel and the devil on your shoulders.
Yes.
It really would be. It really would be.
All right, so that's it for the big news, but we got a couple little minor things that have shown up this week. First being the first official picture of Jason Momoa
as Namor.
Aquaman.
As Namor.
He does come off as the coolest looking interpretation of Aquaman that ever existed.
If Khal Drogo went swimming, that's basically Aquaman. His shirt is a tattoo. It took me like 3 times looking at that picture to realize, like, no, that's not a shirt. That's his fucking...
You know, I didn't notice it because I only saw some very, like, thumbnail type of pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get that deep into it.
Mike, in the chat box, open that picture I just sent.
All right.
And the tagline on there is "Unite the Seven." So that is obviously the members of the Justice League. And the guy who's gonna play Cyborg basically teased that a picture of him should be coming in the next week or two. So I guess the hype train is starting to roll up.
And we're still like what, a year and a half away from this thing?
Yeah, 2006 spring or March of 2016. So about a year.
Yeah, I guess a year.
Yeah, about a year. So that means this year's Comic-Con, which sold out in an hour, should be lousy with DC shit this year. Just,
one would think.
And Wonder Woman is supposed to start filming this fall.
I heard that as well.
Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. So we have seen Aquaman, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So we still have to see Cyborg, Flash, and Green Lantern?
Yeah, which they haven't cast Green Lantern yet.
I thought they haven't cast him.
No, they haven't cast.
They
Green
cast
Lantern.
Flash.
They've cast everybody but Green Lantern.
Yeah, so because they still have time, they're still filming. Fuck for that little cameo.
Did you guys see any of this stuff? And I know I had brought this up, I guess early on in the run of Arrow. But there was rumor mill going around that the John Diggle character might become the John Stewart Green Lantern on Arrow.
Yeah, they've killed that. They said that's not happening.
Mm.
I kind of wish that was the case, though, because I think he'd be awesome.
It would. I mean, it would be a definite stretch, and then it's like you can't really be Green Lantern and then be sidekick to Green Arrow.
Yeah. However,
I mean, if you're going to write the guy off the series,
true,
that would be the way to do it.
But Flash is, I guess, on hiatus until March 13th or something like that. But when they come back in March or April, it's kind of like a Brave and the Bold, but it's not. It's like All Star something something. And that episode is going to have Ray Palmer showing up on there. Felicity's going to be on there. And that's the episode with Bug-Eyed Bandit. So it's going to be another super action-packed episode. Because this week we get to see Adam in his outfit on Arrow, so. So good. So good.
Cool.
Yes. And this week is also the final episode of Agent Carter. Now.
Which has people upset, from what I understand.
Especially my two little girls, Harley and Victoria. So Victoria, she was so distraught and so upset that she has actually mailed a letter to Marvel.
Not emailed, not faxed.
Letter, paper.
Paper letter.
I have her rough copy because we mailed her final. And I promised her we would read it on the podcast. So I'm going to read this letter. It's very well written. I remember a 13-year-old girl, I did not help her write this letter. This is her words. So, dear creator of Agent Carter, I'm writing to you today because I do not know why Agent Carter has to only be a mini-series. Why can't Agent Carter be a reoccurring show that comes on while S.H.I.E.L.D. is on break? I'm sure so many people out in the world that don't want Agent Carter to end, and as a female, I feel like there should be a strong female character in the Marvel Universe besides Black Widow and Scarlet Witch. Thank you, and I really hope you hear me out. Sincerely, Victoria Castillo. So, I told her I would read that. So it got put in the mail Thursday?
You put a stamp on it and everything?
Yep.
Wow.
You know, I mean, slightly in defense of Marvel, I don't disagree with your daughter, but slightly in defense of Marvel, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show has two pretty strong female characters on it.
I know.
I shouldn't even say three strong female characters. Because, you know, May kicks people's ass. What's her name is, Sky is going to be a superhero now.
Yeah, Quake. And Simmons.
Simmons, you know, just because somebody's playing smart doesn't mean...
And Mockingbird, who's now a permanent character.
Mockingbird's there too, so it's definitely a female-heavy show.
I think she was thinking more of, not really a superhero thing, but I think she was just in love with the storyline. Every week, she is glued to this TV watching Agent Carter.
Yeah,
loves the show.
You know, they haven't said one way or another whether it's just going to be a one-off thing, have they?
No, they did say season finale. They didn't say series finale.
Yeah,
so there's a chance that next year, when S.H.I.E.L.D. goes on break again, they may do how Ant-Man ties in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they could do a lot of interesting stuff with it. Yeah.
But she was just very livid that it's the last week. So.
You know, they could bring it through the Cold War and they could go in a lot of different directions with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be very interesting, and the development of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going with this. But
well, it kind of is. It's the very early stages of it.
Now, Daredevil coming soon. We're about 2 months away from Daredevil, a little under 2 months. April 10th. April 10th. Okay. They are dropping the whole 13-episode series, and they also teased that Crusher Creel, who is Absorbing Man, has a fight with Daredevil's dad. So
nice.
Yeah, they tweeted out a picture of that. So I don't know if it's gonna be the same actor because they had said that they're gonna try to keep S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daredevil. It's the same universe, but they're not gonna integrate them right away. So I think that's just a little.
Yeah, because Creel was on S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he was in the first 2 episodes of the season. I'm sure he'll probably be back later on in the season. But yeah, Daredevil's coming. They showed the first. Well, they've shown the first look at the costume. We got a first look at the full black costume he's wearing because they said he's going to be in the red costume by the end of the show. So I'm hoping because really it just looks like some dude like a half a ninja mask. So. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got.
Well, I just have this, and this kind of ties into something what we had said, something Mike had said earlier involving somebody else, but this is a personal story. Thursday night, my wife and I are sitting around, and we're watching this thing on the Smithsonian Network, and it was about the crystal skulls, kind of, the not the Indiana Jones movie,
the real
actual crystal skulls. And it was talking about one of these guys that had found one of the crystal skulls, Mitchell Hedges.
Okay.
And they were talking about how he was an adventurer and how he traveled with different female companions and all this stuff. And I'm sitting on the couch and I go, oh my God, he's the Doctor. And my wife turns to me, completely deadpan, and goes, Doctor? Doctor who? And I just looked at her and said, yes. And she kind of went, huh? Oh! So that was my enjoyable story for.
Nice. Yeah, I think. Do you have anything else? Anything, Mike?
I'm running through my notes real quick.
Like a quick, 2-minute one.
That's what I'm looking. Did you guys see the thing? Somebody put all of Snape's scenes in
Oh my God, I did.
Harry Potter in chronological order.
I did. I teared up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video that kind of tells the Snape story. I'd have to rewatch all the Harry Potter movies to kind of put it into context again.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't even need to. It's just its own little mini movie. It's fantastic. It's about 15 to 18 minutes long. It's so good. I sent it to my niece, and she was like, "Why did you send me that? I'm crying." But yeah, it was good.
Oh, I found this thing. They're talking about doing a Marvel character Dreadstar TV series.
Yeah, Jim Starlin's Dreadstar.
Yeah, that was.
I vaguely remember Dreadstar.
Yeah, Dreadstar was deep.
Yeah, it's a deep cut.
That sounds like it's gonna have to be on Sci-Fi Network or something. I don't know where Dreadstar is.
I think that's what they were talking about. It's not gonna be on It's not gonna be a mainstream.
Yeah, Dreadstar is one of those outside of everything else type of.
Isn't it like a medieval type of thing?
It's like a medieval guy in space. It's a guy looks like Green Arrow in a blue outfit with a sword.
Yeah, he does look like Green Arrow.
Sword and spaceships and stuff behind him.
Speaking of sci-fi, this is just a little off topic as well. But the other night I was watching sci-fi. It might have been last night. I was slipping through the TV and sci-fi was on, and there was a movie on called Stonado. So they're taking the whole Ado thing and just being ridiculous with it. It was about a tornado that spit boulders at people.
Nice.
That sounds fantastic.
I guess.
And that'll be Sharknado 4. Sharknado versus Stonado, and the sharks are fighting the boulders.
Nice.
And there was I found a list of the sixth most thanked people at the Academy Awards.
Okay.
Number 6 was God. Number 1, Steven Spielberg.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking mom. Or mom and dad.
No, I don't think Mom and Dad made the list. Like Spielberg, God at 6. Peter Jackson at 5. It's taking a while. George Lucas at 4.
All right, so movie directors.
Yeah, James Cameron's in there someplace too. Here's James Cameron at 3. Let me see who got 2, and then we'll finish that list real quick. Harvey Weinstein. That's
So all we heard is Hollywood, y'all need Jesus.
Yes.
Not Jesus.
Kirk Cameron tried to bring Jesus to Hollywood, and he got like 17 Razzie Awards.
Apparently, you thank God and Jews is what you do for Hollywood if you win an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
God, Jews, Lucas, and Peter Jackson.
Yes.
And James Cameron. God and people that are going to do your special effects and food.
All right. I think that is an excellent list to end on. So, you know where to find us. TheNinjaverse.wordpress.com. Facebook.com/Ninjaverse. YouTube.com/Ninjaverse. We should have more content going up soon.
We do. We've got the new Hot Tag podcast coming
Yes.
this week as well.
Yes, we do. And I think that's pretty much all our stuff. Right?
I think so.
All right. So I'm Will.
I'm Chris.
I'm Mike.
And we'll see you next week.
That's all, folks.